right. Welcome, everyone, to the Mountaineer Candidate Forum. We have been doing these forums for going on 2 decades now, and this is the opening for our Clyde Candidate Forum. And just a little bit of housekeeping, November 7th is Election Day. Go to your precincts in your town where you always vote, if you should choose to vote that way. Or early voting starts at the Senior Resource Center in Waynesville beginning Thursday, which is October 19th. So now back to Clyde. We have 2 board posts that are open, and we have 5 candidates that are seeking those posts. And with us today, we have 3 of the candidates. Oh, but let me digress. We have Mayor Jim Trantham is running unopposed, and we are asking him to give a little 2-minute response about where he's at and where the town is at and what he would like to do when reelected.
Okay. I would like to first thank the Mountaineer for inviting us here and to be able to express what we've done for the town and what we plan for the future. I'm Jim Trantham. I grew up in Canton, graduated from the Canton High School, moved to Clyde in 1978, and served 14 years on the planning board and now 25 years on the town board. And in December, I will have been mayor for 6 years. And I'd like to mention a few things I'm proud of as a mayor. And number one is I have to say that I'm proud of my fellow aldermen and alderwoman. One of them, Diane, is here. We thank you for that. Here supporting us, and we appreciate that. But I'm proud to work with a board that discusses instead of cusses. You know, we do get along, and we may disagree, but we agree to disagree. And so I'm really proud of that. I thank Ralph Hamlet for mentioning our Riverside Park. As you know, that's to mitigate floods. It's designed for the water to back up in there instead of in our town. And that's one of our great accomplishments, not by me, but as our board in past years. And that happened after the floods in 2004. To update you on some of the things that are happening right now, water and sewer is always a big problem. We're one of the first we are the first municipality in the state of North Carolina that done a study of our water infrastructure, and we learned from that we had several problems. So in 2018, we put a moratorium on. We didn't allow water outside the city limits. I'm proud to say, proud to say that we don't have the moratorium on it outside customers anymore. Thank you.
Thank you, Mayor, and we appreciate your service through the years. Okay, so we're going to start off with our candidate opening statements, and we'll start off with Alderman Jesse.
All right, my name is Dan Jesse. I have been a alderman for the town of Clyde since I was asked to serve in 2015 to fill a vacancy that was created. I was subsequently elected in the fall of 2015, and I was reelected in 2019, and I'm seeking reelection again this term. I am a retired Pactive Evergreen employee. I spent my entire professional career in a host of different jobs in the mill. I graduated from college with an engineering degree and was fortunate enough to relocate to Canton, North Carolina and work at the mill. I've lived in Clyde since about 1986 when my wife and I built our home. We live in a very nice neighborhood that I cherish. We are on the backside of the river, so when there are issues at the river, that sometimes causes us some issues. I have one daughter. She is down in Raleigh now as a nurse. She graduated from NC State University, and we are very proud of her. As a alderman for the town, I feel like I have brought a level of experience both from my business dealings as well as my outside of work interests that have allowed me to interject onto the board with a very positive note, a very concise thought of how things ought to transpire over the course of whatever the discussions are that we have. I will echo Mayor Trantham's sentiments. As a board, we do have a very cohesive board currently that is very amenable to discussion and compromise if that's the case sometimes. But in the end, I think we do what's right ultimately for the town. Thank you.
Thank you. An opening statement, Ms. Johnson.
Hi, I am Kathy-Cogburn Johnson. I am new at this. I am a native of Haywood County. I am retired from First Citizens Bank in Canton. I was with them for over 30 years. I am a member of the Canton Lions Club, the past treasurer and board member. I am a member of the Mountain View Housing Board in Canton. I currently am on the Clyde Planning Board. I actually work part-time for the town of Clyde, taking water bills and answering the phone whenever I'm needed. I do live inside the city limits of Clyde. I would like to run to represent the people of Clyde and preserve the values of our small town and maintain a good tax basis for the town. I do have 2 children. One is deceased. That's it.
Oh, thank you. Ms. Russell, opening statements.
Thank you for the invitation to be here and opportunity to share a little bit about myself. I am a Haywood County native. My family ties go back to the 1800s with them helping in the settlement of Clyde, including the building of Louisa Chapel Methodist Church. I have a strong understanding of the issues that face our community, as well as the opportunities. I'm committed to serving the community, and that's why I'm running for Alderwoman in Clyde. I am a Tuscola Mountaineer and went to AB Tech, where I received a degree in hospitality management and administration. Using that degree, I started a 15-year career in leadership with Wendy's. That experience has led me to accept a position with Champion Janitorial Supply, where I'm currently the operations manager, a position that I've held for the last 23 years. We have over 800 customers, 125 vendors, and currently a staff of 7. In addition, we own and I help manage 2 businesses in Clyde. I feel that my life experience, education, work experience will help in the position of Alderwoman. Clyde is a great place to call home. We've lived here for the past 10 years. We started Canine Curriculum, a dog grooming shop on Main Street 9 years ago, and a little more than 2 years ago, we opened Canine Curriculum 2. It's a retail store and dog training center on Broad Street. I've been a regular attendee at town meetings where I've learned I can give input on items affecting Clyde. I'm the chair of the zoning board and represent Clyde on the Greenway Council. I also proudly volunteer with Habitat for Humanity and on the board. I feel that community service is an opportunity to give back to where we live. I will give back by listening to our community, by trying to promote Clyde wherever I can, to work diligently with the other board members, mayor, town staff to move Clyde forward in a positive direction. Thank you.
Thank you. And we'll start our first question with Ms. Johnson. Looking into your crystal ball, where do you see Clyde 10 years from now? Oh, well, come join us. Come on. So you can ponder on that first question while we do one more opening statement.
I apologize for the delay today.
Not a problem. We'll just work you right in with your opening statement, Mr. Nuckolls.
Thank you, everyone. Thanks for being here. I am grateful for the opportunity to be running for Alderman of Clyde. I am relatively new to Haywood County. I moved to Clyde 2 years ago when I accepted a new role at Lake Junaluska Conference and Retreat Center. I am from Houston, Texas, raised in Hendersonville, North Carolina, where I have a lot of family. Moving back to Haywood County has got me back to my roots. I tell guests of ours all the time at the lake about my great-grandmother's special honeymoon at Lake Junaluska in 1927. She is from this area. Her name was Minnie Mae Calhoun, and I'm blessed to be back in Haywood County and in Clyde. My background, I went to Appalachian State University, double majored in hospitality and tourism management and marketing with a minor in supply chain management. I've grown up in the hotel industry, so I work as the director of guest services at Lake Junaluska, overseeing all of our lodging, whether it's housekeeping, front desk, reservations. So I oversee a team of about 60 individuals year-round. I also recently got married about 3 weeks in, and I haven't been kicked out of the house yet, so enjoying the married life. I do have a 6-year-old daughter who lives with us as well, 2 cats, a blue heeler puppy, and we're loving the life that we're building in Haywood County and Clyde. We also recently, about a year ago, opened up a new business of our own. It's a gourmet popsicle company. We have about 20 wholesale partners, which has allowed us to build some good relationships in Buncombe and Haywood County. We also go out and help serve at events, whether it's at the fairgrounds or local schools, helping nonprofit organizations. I'm also an ambassador with the Haywood County Chamber. So I look forward to the opportunity to run for this position. I look forward to learning more about Clyde and how we can continue to see Clyde grow in a positive fashion.
Thank you. Glad you could join us. So back to the first question, Ms. Johnson, shall I repeat it? Okay. Looking into your crystal ball, where do you see Clyde 10 years from now?
10 years from now is hard to predict, but I do see a lot of residential growth. Commercial is kind of slow right now. I would like to see more done with the river, keep us from flooding. Hopefully, something can be done with the old Central Hospital. And I do see a lot of growth coming into Clyde.
Thank you. Mr. Nuckolls.
I think we have tremendous opportunity over this next decade to pioneer positive trajectory for Clyde. I think we're seeing booming growth around us, whether you look at Asheville, whether you look at the town of Waynesville, all around us we're seeing growth. You can't drive down the interstate without hitting a couple of delays along the way. I think what we need to strive for is ensuring that we're growing in a positive fashion. So when people think about Clyde 10 years from now, they're thinking of a place that they would consider relocating for a good job, relocating to grow a family, a place that can be built and has been and will continue to be based on strong core values, and that can look different for a lot of individuals, whether it's religious values, trust, honesty, integrity, and overall a safe and fun place to live as well.
Thank you. Ms. Russell.
Well, I think that some of us need to polish up our crystal balls and look to the future. The thing about, I really want more businesses in Clyde. We do have 55 businesses, but the problem is we don't have a lot of area to grow in. So we have to be careful in how we do that. Also, there's just so much land. So as far as residential, there's just so many people that we can bring in. When we do have empty lots and things like that, we need to look at affordable housing. And affordable housing is something that's very important to me. And so I think that looking towards 10 years, I would hope that more businesses would come in with the promise of a clear future.
Thank you. Mr. Jesse?
You know, if I were to look forward 10 years for the town of Clyde, there was a lot of things that are on our plate today that are in that 10-year window. You know, as a town, one of our primary responsibilities is what is the infrastructure of our community, whether it be water lines, sewage, road conditions, things of that nature. So we have a plan currently that addresses some of those issues, and they are not small issues in nature. You know, some of them are quite substantial when you look at the costs. So, you know, grant funding and things like that are important for the town of Clyde to be able to move forward on those items. With respect to the growth in the town, you know, I will agree with Amy that, you know, we do have limited space. What we have seen is we have just as much impact outside of the town of Clyde as we have within the town of Clyde. So I think, you know, to be able to say I live in Clyde, I want that to be a positive thing for people in our community.
Thank you. For our second question, we'll start with you, Mr. Nuckolls. As Asheville's housing market continues to push into Haywood County, what, if anything, does Clyde need to do to be prepared for this?
I think step one is looking at the structural components that are involved with a growing population. You know, looking at our roadways, looking at our waterways, as mentioned previously, continuing to grow our town's administrative presence, whether it's reevaluating police force, office staff, public works, continuing to ensure that as this growth that we know is coming gets to our front door, that we're prepared. We're not trying to be retroactive, we're trying to be proactive in this. We also want to continue to strive with producing and having jobs and work opportunities within Clyde. As we do so, we will transition from being a town that people sleep in and commute out of during the day for work to be a town where our residents can live, work, and have fun all within our area and home. Thanks.
Thank you. Ms. Russell?
Well, Clyde is the crossroads of Haywood County. So definitely we would like these people coming in, but we really do have to worry about the infrastructure in Clyde, mainly our water. We are working on the water sources. And then, you know, Canton's got the issue of the wastewater that they're having to deal with. You know, Junaluska does our wastewater. So there's a couple of things that, you know, we need to be aware of. And we do want that 28721 zip code to be the best in the county, that Clyde zip code. And we are inviting, but we want a positive effect here. And again, I can't stress enough that we also need to be looking at that affordable housing for people who are coming into our area.
Thank you. Alderman Jesse?
Yeah, I think, you know, you look at Clyde and, you know, we're one exit off of I-40 and we get a lot of that traffic. If you drive to Asheville in the morning, there's a lot of traffic heading east, and if you're driving there in the afternoon, there's a lot of traffic coming west, and a lot of it does come through Clyde. You know, so I would like to believe that, you know, we are a opportunity for people to commute. I don't think we're gonna, you know, we're not gonna create a bunch of business. You know, there's not gonna be a lot of business that comes into the town of Clyde. So we're still gonna be somewhat of a commuter type residential area. But I also like to believe that, you know, what we've seen is, you know, as the housing market has increased in value, you know, those outer reaches, you know, Clyde being one of them, has been one of those places where people have sought to find residents. So going forward, we just need to make sure that the town is prepared, when that influx of people happens. Thank you.
Thank you. Ms. Johnson?
Yes, I agree with all three of these. We do need to be proactive and ready for this to happen. I just wish some people would turn loose of some land, to where we could have affordable housing. Don't know whether that's going to, happen or not. As far as the water and the sewer system, it's continuing to be improved. We'll be ready.
Thank you. So for our next question, we'll start off with you, Ms. Russell. Do you see a need to encourage more businesses to come to Clyde? If so, how would you do this?
I would love for more business to come to Clyde. One of the things that you look at is when businesses move out, that's traffic that moves out. And being a small business owner, we would like for more foot traffic to be involved in Clyde. So there are a couple of construction projects going on now that we're told that are supposed to be boutique kind of shops and things like that. So I'm hoping that does happen. But just being the positive place that Clyde is, maybe that would be a draw to a smaller business and things like that. So we just need to keep being who we are in Clyde.
Thank you. Alderman Jesse?
Yeah, I don't think we're going to see a boom in a lot of business come into town, but what I would like to see is the sustained business, the business that we do have, that they are able to sustain themselves, whether it be from the local community or those people that come through and stop and shop, so to speak. To encourage more business, I think what you have to have is you have to have a presentable look to your town. And I think in certain cases, we have developed we've got a 1923 road that runs through the center of town that we've tried to dress up, if you will, and make it look more attractive, such that people will take a look and stop and shop. Thank you.
Thank you. Ms. Johnson?
Yes, there is, well, it's like Amy had said, we do have 55 businesses in town. It's a small area. I guess to encourage more businesses to come in is doing a lot of talk. There is some good shops downtown.
Okay, Mr. Nuckolls?
Certainly don't think we're going to see 55 businesses turn into 355 or any absurd number, but I think we've got the opportunity to ensure the businesses that we do have currently, the businesses that we do see come in, are going to be enough to provide a dependable local base for our residents in Clyde, the ability to not have to leave Clyde to get necessities, the ability to go on a shopping spree and do all of that within our main street. There's a huge trend right now where we're seeing restaurants push unique experiences. We're seeing entertainment go from massive events to smaller, intimate settings, and I think we've got the opportunity to ensure that people come to Clyde and they have that fun, unique, clean experience in our town, on our main streets. So the opportunity's there. It's certainly going to take collaboration, but excited to see that happen.
Thank you. Now we've reached the lightning round for your final closing statements. So we'll start with you, Alderman Jesse.
Okay. From the standpoint of serving on the board for the town of Clyde for the past, 8 years, I guess I never really understood what it meant to operate a town, even though it's a town of only 1,000 to 1,500 people. But there's a lot of details that need to go into that. I think as a result of my serving on the board these past years, I have developed an understanding of what it takes and what it is needed to sustain that public awareness and reaching out look of how to do things as a town. I also believe that my experience has allowed me to be very forward-thinking and aware of what the sentiment of the town of Clyde is and how to maintain that integrity of the town as we know it and allow people of all shapes and sizes to enjoy the town as it is. Thank you.
Thank you. Ms. Johnson?
Yes, I am new at this. I do have a lot to learn, which I do know how some of the operations is there in Clyde. I would like to represent the people and look out for the interest of the people of Clyde.
Thank you. Mr. Nuckolls?
Well, I applaud everyone up here for putting their name in the hat. I am thankful for the opportunity to be considered, as I am sure everyone else is. What I think I can bring to the table is the opportunity to try to get individuals engaged that historically or in recent years maybe have not been, bringing another perspective in, perspective of someone that is a little newer to Haywood County and Clyde, someone that is maybe a little younger, really, eager to get out there, eager to, give it my all. As you can see, as a business owner, working full-time for Lake Junaluska, a father, a husband, I'm eager to jump right in and give it the best that I can for the people.
Thank you. Ms. Russell?
I would appreciate your vote for Alderwoman in Clyde. I think my experience over the last several years of going to the town meetings, seeing what the board is about. I know Mr. Jesse has a lot of experience in this, and I too am new. But being at those meetings, I do see what is going on in Clyde. And honestly, the board and the mayor and the town staff that we have are phenomenal. And I would just appreciate your vote. I want to continue the phenomenal work of the board that we have. Thank you.
Well, thank you, and thank you all for volunteering to donate your time to serve the community of Clyde. We appreciate you, and thank you all for tuning in, and that concludes our Clyde Municipal Forum.